Today we're looking at General John J. Pershing. Hello, welcome to the Daily Bellringer. Please don't forget to subscribe and take a look at the questions down in the description. Also, don't forget to check out dailybellringer.com where you'll find more resources that go with many of the Bellringer videos. John J. Pershing was an American military officer who served during the late 1800s and the first half of the 1900s. He was promoted to the rank of Brigadier General in 1905 and would eventually rise to the highest rank possible in the Army, referred to as General of the Armies. Only Pershing and George Washington reached this rank. However, Pershing received the rank during his lifetime. Washington was given the rank after his death. Pershing most notably served as the overall commander of the American Expeditionary Force on the Western Front during World War I. Pershing was born September 13, 1860, near Laclede, Missouri, in the north-central part of the state. He was the oldest of 9 children born to John Fletcher Pershing and Ann Thompson. His father ran a store during the Civil War and was a sutler, or a merchant that sells items to the armies while they're in the field, traveling with the Union Army during the war. Pershing first pursued a career as a teacher, graduating in 1880 from the Missouri State Normal School, which was a school for teachers. Today it's known as Truman State University in Kirksville, Missouri. Pershing, however, sought to further his education at a higher level, and he decided his best opportunity would be to attend the United States Military Academy at West Point, New York. In 1882, Pershing was accepted at West Point. Pershing graduated in 1886 and was placed into active military duty with the 6th U.S. Cavalry at Fort Bayard in New Mexico. Over the next few years, Pershing was stationed in Arizona, California, and North Dakota and was involved in several U.S. military campaigns against Native Americans. Pershing fought in actions against the Apache and Lakota Sioux. In 1891, he was appointed the Professor of Military Science and Tactics at the University of Nebraska in Lincoln. In 1895, he was given command of the 10th Cavalry in northern Montana. The 10th Cavalry was one of the original Buffalo Soldier regiments, which was made up of African American soldiers. For the next few years, the regiment continued the American policy of forcing Native Americans from their land. By 1897, he returned to West Point as an instructor of military tactics, but was soon called overseas. Over the next few years, as the United States continued to spread its influence throughout the world, Pershing was involved in the Spanish-American War as well as the Philippine-American War, in both being recognized for his leadership and bravery under fire. Impressed with his service, in 1905, President Theodore Roosevelt promoted Pershing to Brigadier General. That same year, Pershing married Helen Frances Warren, who was the daughter of Francis Warren, a senator from Wyoming. Many felt Pershing's promotion to general was politically motivated, as he passed over several other higher-ranking officers. Over the next years, Helen and John had 4 children, while he was posted at several different military posts from Paris to the Philippines, where again he distinguished himself for discipline and bravery. By 1914, he arrived at Fort Bliss, Texas, where he was tasked with dealing with border tensions with Mexico as the Mexican Revolution was taking place. Pershing made arrangements for his wife and children to join him there, but on August 27, 1915, Helen and 3 of their 4 children died in a fire in San Francisco. Only their 6-year-old son Francis survived. Pershing, however, continued his military duties, and in March of 1916 led a force of 10,000 men into Mexico to capture revolutionary leader Pancho Villa. Pershing defeated Villa's men, but was unsuccessful in capturing Villa. As the United States entered World War I in April of 1917, Pershing was the most likely candidate to take command. On May 10th of 1917, he was officially given the rank of full general and command of the American Expeditionary Force on the Western Front. Eventually, Pershing would have close to 2 million soldiers under his command. British and French commanders expected American forces to integrate into their commands and replace fallen soldiers in their divisions. But Pershing insisted on his troops to remain separate and under American command. By the summer of 1918, Pershing and American troops began to see significant action and began to push German forces back on the Western Front. Starting in early August of 1918, Allied forces began the 100-day offensive. By November of 1918, the German army called for an armistice or ceasefire. European leaders were quick to accept the armistice, but Pershing wanted to continue pushing forward to completely destroy the German military machine. Pershing returned from Europe as a hero and was promoted to the highest rank, General of the Armies, in 1919. In 1920, there were many that wanted Pershing to run for president, but he denied running for office. And in 1924, Pershing retired from active duty in the U.S. military and over the next few decades was involved in several veterans organizations. As tensions began to rise in Europe in the late 1930s and early 1940s, Pershing voiced concern and urged America to support Britain as World War II began. John J. Pershing died July 15, 1948, at the age of 87 from heart failure. His body would lay in state in the rotunda of the U.S. Capitol, and he was then buried at Arlington National Cemetery. So with that, hopefully you learned something, and thanks for watching.